Okay, here we are in game number one of this best of three match. This is going to be in the quarterfinals of the elimination round of the Alpha Navigators Cup Season 2 finals. And this will be starring here in the blue Celestial. Hi, moving his Morph Core out to take a collection array to start out. And his opponent today in the red Infernal is going to be Kel. All right, both of these players earning their spot today by earning points in the weekly tournaments. So if you have tuned in for some of the weekly tournaments, thanks a lot for that. Hope you've enjoyed them. And all of those hard-earned games have paid off for these two who have earned their place here. And they're trying to win their way into the grand finals played out tomorrow. And we see Kel doing some scouting with his Hexen. She's made her way out here. She sees the collection array at the natural and the prism just gathering Luminite here. Nothing too suspicious. Here's a Morph Core headed out, but that looks like it's just more expansion. And where is that Arc Ship? Okay, so there's the Arc Ship, but we do see two Imps on the way, and we haven't seen this a lot in this patch due to the changes to Sovereign's Watch, but it looks like we're going straight into Shroudstone. So again, this is a divergence from current meta. This is sort of an older meta because Sovereign's Watch can hit these buildings. Now, High seems unperturbed so far, has not triggered a Sovereign's Watch, has summoned in 2 creation chambers, and looks like it's going to let these Shroudstones finish here, harassing the Hexen with a Morph Core. Morph Core is a good kind of defense here, but this Shroudstone's going to get done. There's already a Brute here as well, and a Shroudstone in the main as well is also okay. So now we have a Sovereign's Watch summoned, and I haven't yet seen to see who wins this battle. It looks like the Sovereign's Watch is going to win. Take out the whole, yeah, the Shroudstone goes down, and we have an Argent out now too. There's still some juice left in that Sovereign's Watch to almost focus down the Brute, but let's see in the main. There is a Sovereign's Watch now called in the main as well, so it looks like that Shroudstone might go down. The Argent trying to stay alive in the back, but actually gets hit with a Skull of Shedda, and another Fiend comes out. So Kel trying to get as much advantage out of this as possible. Hopefully going to get another Fiend here. One Fiend goes down, but no, the Infest is over before that particular Argent died. A Brute versus Argent, I think we know who wins that one. The Brute just needs to chase that Argent down, and there goes the Argent. Another Shroudstone, another Imp shows up. There's also a Shroudstone right here at the front gate. This Hexen, who's at low life, is back in the base trying to take out this collection array. So despite those first 2 Shroudstones going down, this is still not going to be a simple hold for High. So I guess Kel maybe knew this, maybe has tried this out a few times in the new patch and knows it's still not just going to be a simple win with the Sovereign's Watch changes. Another Argent going down and another Fiend out of that, so efficient use of the Skull of Sheddas out of Kel to make sure that he has these extra units, these high DPS units, and another Skull comes in just in time to claim a 4th Fiend here, and this is not looking good for any Argents that pop out. Is that collection, or oh, so another Shroudstone going down here, and we do have energy, it looks like, for Sovereign's Watch, but we might not have charges, I'm not certain. Now, here we have a Sovereign's Watch, but we see it's prioritizing those Fiends first. Now it's on to the Shroudstone, and that will take out this Shroudstone and protect that. But now it looks like 1 Creation Chamber's gone down at the front, and it's a power bank that's being focused now, and 3 Morph Cores out. This is at least, you know, firing down from the air. They're unlikely going to be harassed. Is there still a Hexen out? It looks like they may have got the Hexen unless she teleported her way home. 1 Morph Core goes down to the Shroudstone, and this collection array has to lift off. We see red power now for Kyle. This is, or sorry, for High. This is not looking good. Just a stream of Brutes coming as well as a stream of Imps. It looks like they're not giving up on these collection arrays. Another Shroudstone here, another one near the new creation chamber. the Morph Core is trying to do their best from above, which they can do pretty well against the Fiends and the Brutes. But the Shroud Stones are pretty damaging. You can't really help with that unless they get in high numbers. A Brute splits to get more DPS from the Fiends and chasing down that Argent, but he's doing Ring Around the Rosie. And the Fiends do get taken out. They're able to focus onto this Shroud Stone now. And this one's probably going to go down. Might get a cancel, but we do see the Shroud Stone at the natural does manage to complete, and we see damage now going down here. This collection array is floating by on the left hand side there, and it's really hard to say because this has been a huge all-in from Kel as well, so he's not exactly, he hasn't expanded behind, although it looks like he's about to try and put down an expansion, thinking maybe he's done enough damage here. This Shroud Stone looks like it's going to get taken out by these Argents. There's now 3 Argents on the map with these power banks. They might be able to go back, power up, and clear these remaining Shroud Stones, which might mean stabilization for high. This collection array is still gathering. It's going to heal itself up. This poor array is taking the very, very long trip up to the ninja base up there, but there's still a Shroud Stone here about to be cleaned up by these 3 Argents. So that's welcome, and hopefully he'll have a chance to maybe re-expand there. But we also see that, you know, he hasn't been having a great income while under harass. Only has a single collection array. Ooh, unfortunately losing an Argent there. Now let's take a quick look back here for Kel. Behind this, he does have a Ritual Chamber up. It's still Brute Tech though. And I don't... Okay, is that Plague Axis started? Yeah, so Plague Axis started, so we're probably going to switch into some Gaunts. A second Conclave going down, and again, a very late expansion. And we do see 5 Argents here. To be honest, those 5 Argents, if they were able to maybe move across, maybe teleport across the map, they might be able to do a little damage at the moment, as long as they were powered up. But I think High just wants to stabilize his economy. He's now rooted down this collection array. It looks like it's just started collecting. And yes, okay, he has put another one here. And I didn't notice before, but okay, it's just a prism over here. No collection array just yet. Although, if he had had a chance to sneak a Morph Core over there earlier, that would have been a great way to get a little advantage. And actually, High does have the supply count lead with about, oh, actually Kel just caught up there, but we haven't seen any more Argents being added to this group yet. Yeah, this Argent needs to run away. Clearing another camp, and it looks like Kel is pumping out some units and is deciding maybe to come across the map, or maybe he's just trying to clear this camp here. An effigy goes down to help these units soak in some Shroud Skin white health as they're capturing the camp. And now, yeah, a little bit of aggression. At least these Fiends are going to come in. Now, there's 2 Arc Ships here. Again, a move I really like. That allows to speed up Morph Core and Prism production at the same time. These Fiends get into the main, try and take out the collection array. Look at that DPS from the Fiends. This does make them pretty dangerous. Oh my goodness, they're going to get it now. It does take 5 seconds to lift off the array, but it's at 80, 70. Oh, wow. Manages to just clean it up. Now the beauty of the Celestial buildings is, of course, they are going to naturally regen, and it's quite a quick regen, as you can see there. If we come back here in a minute or two, that will be back to full. And it's Argent Tech remaining for High. He's staying on that. Of course, that is efficient because it means he doesn't have to mine any Therium, and it's not clear if he's mined any yet at all. It looks like he's moving his first Arc Ship and Prism over to do that now. And he does have his Guardian Nexus up, which means creep production is possible, but also upgrades for the Argents, like their photocapacitors, or maybe the rollout upgrade for Kree if that is the tech switch that he wants to go. So he is now taking out the Therium, trying to get some of these camps. This is actually increasing his advantage, which after defending that all in, he looked pretty dire, but he did manage to keep one array mining the whole time. And that could be an advantage now. That this arc ship's moving back out to the foreground. Is that because, oh, because a purifier was put down here. Now remember, a purifier is great for having a delivery point for your prisms, but it also is in charge of some of your upgrades. And some of those upgrades, like upgrading your arc ship speed and prism and morph core speed, as well as upgrading your Sovereign's Watch potency, I believe, are two upgrades that you don't want to miss out on as a Celestial. So having a purifier is good. Now this is not great. His Argents get caught out of position, and those Gaunts are able to put an effigy up in a very advantageous spot. Now if the Argents can come and snipe it. Yeah. Oh no, they turned to fight the army. If they were able to snipe the effigy, it would mean no infest from these Gaunts for at least for a short while until a new effigy can be cast, and it is on cooldown. It does also cost Animus. It only costs 5 Animus, so that's rarely what's going to prevent you from casting an effigy. We have a Sovereign's Watch chasing away, which pushes High into red power momentarily. Another effigy goes down, and I think that we were exactly waiting for that. Kel was waiting for that cooldown to finish so he could push in again with the infest on his Gaunts plus that white health regen. We see a Nightfall infestation going down on the high ground, but also a Purify, and Purify clears up the infest as well as the slow. Now these Argents, unfortunately, there's just not enough of them, and they got pushed back here, and we're seeing in the natural a bunch of units are left behind just to harass. A single Saber has popped out, but this force from Kel might be enough here. A couple Argents in the back, the good micro from the Saber to keep it alive for now. And with single Fiend trying to chomp down on it. Some Gaunts moving forward. And Gaunts versus this Saber. The poor Saber is... I can't even see. Is it firing? I don't see it, actually. That would be devastating if it's not actually firing. I don't see any actual animation coming out of it. And it gets taken out, and there we get a GG from High. Okay, here we are, right back at it in game number 2. This is High in the blue Celestial, moving his Morph Core out to take that second array again. So High is not dismayed by that last game, and is going to still go for that Expo, which again is very standard for a Celestial player. And we do see, it looks like Kel is also going more for an eco. If he was going for Shroud Stones, he needs to put down a structure very early, one of his production structures, a vault or a conclave, so that he can build the Shroud Stone. And he's gone Shrine first, so that means High is likely safe here to start out here with an eco build of his own, and we'll see how eco he goes. I have noticed that High has been streaming the last week on Twitch. I don't know if he had streamed before or if he just infrequently streams, but his streams have been incredibly entertaining in this last week because he has been playing practice custom games against Scan, and GameFriend has also been swapping out. And so if you happen to see him streaming in the next a little bit, you might want to pop in and see if you can catch one of those highly entertaining games. One of those games was a 40-minute masterpiece between the two of them here on Lost Hope. So again, check it out if you have an opportunity. So High so far has gone for that third array, and we did see that the Hexen of Kel managed to get in here and scout that before teleporting away. And it is going to be Vault Conclave, so there's a mixture here, and he looks like he's going to start his creeping. And yeah, it's going to be eco out of both of them. There's our first creation chamber going down for High. It looks like a first, I think. We also have a purifier up here, more power banks to just keep all these buildings powered up. And a fairly standard sort of eco opening and do a single creation chamber. And we are now seeing, okay, the conclave is up. It looks like a couple gaunts are out. And our Hexen has been doing some tanking there. She's low health. And that is a sort of a risky strategy early game, especially if you're playing, say, against a Vanguard who might have a dog on the map. But against the Celestial, it's not that bad. Hopefully you can heal her up later. Now remember, Kel's just taken that health camp, which means there will be a passive regen, and she will be regenning her HP very slowly, 67. So very, very slowly. I think it's half a hit point per second if you have a single camp, if I remember correctly. I think it was my buddy Frank who told me that. And this is a, looks like it's mostly a creeping force. There's only 4 gaunts here, plus the brute to do some tanking and some fiends. And yeah, we're going to see a ritual chamber going down, so some tech is going to go up here. And a single scout fiend is going to come out, but quite proficiently taken out by these Argents and preventing kind of any interior scout of the base in case there might be some secret tech going down. Or seeing the creation chamber at the ramp, knowing at least, okay, there's a pretty standard base configuration. Ooh, that Argent getting low and getting focus fire, but some good micro back. It's these Shadow Mastiffs that really cause the most trouble in terms of risk to losing units, especially in the early game. But some good micro there. And then going back to, I thought standard of the arc ship. This arc ship's not exactly finished yet. And that means that's going to be the second arc ship, which again is a good eco play a little bit after you've taken these arrays so that you can start prism production as well to help boost your eco even further without having to take more arrays. Of course, taking more arrays is also a way you can go. So what was going on here? Was that a scan? Yeah, I think that was a scan. I guess that means that Hai has not yet discovered where Kel is. Of course, Kel sent his Hexen out in the early game, but Hai has been spending most of his power on building buildings at the beginning, arrays and such, and so only now maybe has a power surplus that he can use to try and spot out where Kel is. Now we see Kel has just finished the Greater Shrine, and I'm guessing that we saw Plague Axe has already come out, yes, so we might see Reaper's Rush follow that up. Do we have any production buildings added? Yeah, it's 2 extra conclaves on the low ground here, plus a shrine here, and another shrine going down here. So Kel is sticking to a eco build here, being very aggressive last game, but this game just sitting back and deciding to take bases. And let's see here, Kel has moved down, Hai. It's interesting. I think he might be just looking to see if there was a early Shroudstone put down there, maybe? No, maybe more just looking for a fiend. Oh, looks like maybe a fiend had got in the base and he was uncertain if his Argents had cleared it out. But yep, there was no longer any fiend camped out there. And we see that Kel is also trying to take map control with his units. Now what do we see here? Ooh, this is a surged Arc Fortress just scooting across the map. It was moving kind of slow on the mini-map there, but now that I see it in action, that looks kind of fast for me. That's a Arc Fortress there. That's not anything else. Let's see. I bet it's going to come in here and try and use its super laser beam. Try and keep an eye on that. What's this? Ooh, and an Archangel at the same time. Here it comes. And there we go. The laser beam is triggered, and that's going to be bye-bye Shrine. There's nothing that can be done at this point, unless you have a dozen Shadow Flyers nearby. Boom, there goes the Shrine. And a retreat back to the power bank to get some more energy to do it again, although retreating and trying to get to the high ground. We see the Skull of Shedda there. Ooh, here comes some Shadow Flyers. So a pretty good response out of Kel immediately. Now where did that Archangel go? Oh, right into the Imp line here. It looks like a ton of Imps taken out. We do have some units diverted in that direction, and the Archangel does get chased away. Do we have another Archangel here? Yes. It's not clear where that one went to. It looks like it may have been immediately chased away by some Fiends and Shadowfires, but we have another Power Bank and another Fate's End here, melting the Twilight Spire, which is actually really useful because that's where the Shadowfires are going to come from, and they give vision of the high ground as well as the debuff and a lot of damage. We see that debuff right here. There's 4 stacks of it. That means it was struck by 4 Shadowfires, but again, that's a rapid regen for the Celestial buildings. We still have Archangels down here. Looks like they did get a little damage, but again, also hiding on the high ground. So there is this ring of high ground territory around the outside of this map, which is a place where you can hide your flying units. So another Archangel Meteor Strike killing more of these imps. But it looks like Kel has been doing a good job of pulling those imps out. Now, where's that Arc Fortress? Here it is. There's another Shroud Stone here. And boom. Going to be taking out that Shroud Stone. And if it flies in, it should still be able to fire. Are there Archangels out here? I don't see any. Did they get chased home? Here they come back. And this time it looks like there wasn't really a response. The Shroud Stone gets taken out. There is a new power bank put down, and the Spriggans now come in, and the Arc Fortress tries to retreat. I mean, yeah, I was going to say, it can just melt this base now too if it wants, and it will. And 3 Archangels here. Though I don't know if they want to fight into this by themselves. If they do fight with the Spriggans, I think that might be a good match. Although one Archangel is pretty low and it's going to go down. There's a single Spriggan there, and the Shroud Stone is also providing some DPS. Spriggan gets taken out, and the Arc Fortress can hide above the trees for now. There are a lot of gaunts that you want to hide from. And it looks like an Argent Force is moving out into the middle. There's also some Vectors. That's to help with some anti-air. All of those are good anti-air units. Ooh, and Kel's trying to take the center of the map, but that's where these units are. Now, this is going to be a battle between the armies, and it's not clear who's got the advantage. It looks like there was a good Meteor Strike on the Gaunts there, which pushed the advantage into High's favor. And we do look at the supply count. It is telling a certain story. We have another Fate's End here, just out of range of these 2 Shroud Stones. That is a ridiculous range. Melts the base for a second time there, I think, and flies away. Another power bank sacrifice, and now Sabers have been added as well. This force is looking pretty deadly. I think it's time now to just push into the base. Looked like for a second there he wanted to push in the back door, but it's deciding maybe now to rotate around. He's going to steal the health camp first, which is always a great thing to do if you can. On a map like Lost Hope, you have that health camp out front, so you might be able to do that. Now we've got the battle. The Gaunts move in, but there's a Meteor Strike, a second Meteor Strike. One of the Archangels goes down, but with that additional splash damage coming in from the Sabers in the back, those Gaunts don't really stand a chance. There are Weavers and Spriggans to help support the Gaunts, but no real front line. The Weaver's going to try and get a good lash. Actually, the Weaver moves forward to be that front line, but doesn't last very long. And then we see that splash damage from the Sabers taking out the line of Gaunts, and that's going to be GG from Kel in game number 2. Okay, here we are in the final match of this best of 3. This is starring High here. I got that click bug again. Let me see if I fix it. There we go. Sorry about that. So yes, here we have High again in the Blue Celestial, winning that last game to force this match by using the cool laser beam Archangel trick that was popularized by Ariel a few weeks ago in the King of the Hill. At least that was the first time I saw it. And we have Kel responding here. I like this. Different builds every game for Kel. Opening with a very aggressive Shroudstone play, but this time it's going to be double vault. Maybe this is going to be Shroudstone play again. We already have a Therium Purifier down for high, and high is full on just flying across the map. So I'm not 100% sure what the Purifier is about. Maybe it's for the extra prism here, because this looks like a very aggressive, maybe Morph Core rush or proxy play. We'll see 3 Morph Cores out, so definitely a Morph Core-ish rush to start. Okay, there we see, oh, it is, I see it already. It was the speed on the arc ships and Morph Cores. So very interesting opening where he opens with a Purifier so he can get those upgrades. And now he's got speedy Morph Cores here. There's already Shroudstones going down. And the Morph Cores are just standing, or flying rather, on top of these imps, trying to get as much econ damage as they can. There's a single Brood out here that's just coming to give emotional support to the imps, saying, I'm sorry brothers, maybe he'll attack me. Decides to instead split and maybe try and get some damage done by running across the map. There is a Hex in here now, but her DPS is not very great, maybe as low as these Morph Cores, but the Morph Cores fly away. There's 4 of them. Is there 5 now? 5 Morph Cores, and a single Hexen against those Morph Cores I don't think is a good match. But with the Shroudstone finishing in the main, Morph Cores are trying to find an area where they can do damage. They did get so many imp kills. Let's see what we're at. We're at 6 imps here. That's less than the starting number. That's rough. And we're up to 5 Morph Cores, although we see one of them changing into a creation chamber to push this a little bit further. Now, these fiends have managed to get onto the array, and the array has to lift up here. So now we are seeing, it looks like an end to the income for high, other than prism income. And the Hexen has been able to stay alive so far. One of these Morph Cores does have the infest, but is able to retreat away and get under the healing rays of the arc ship. But relentlessly, Kel is going to put another skull on it and maybe fire another skull off. There's just not quite enough damage probably from the infest to kill it, but if he can use a couple skulls to kill it, it might go down. Now, of course, all it's going to do is, wow, okay, right as the skull was about to hit there, High transforms that Morph Core into a creation chamber to basically save its life or save its utility. And we now have another creation chamber there. Now, what happened to that array? That array has resettled. Maybe there was a Sovereign's Watch called there to chase away those fiends. And this Brute's trying to kill the Argent and manages to do that. A single fiend pops out, going for this link node here. That is, I believe, yeah, turning into a strike node. And unfortunately, that poor Brute, I don't know what was wrong with it, but it was having a bit of a glitch. We've seen a few glitched units in this matchup already, and that Brute was just sort of walking or move commanding into the link node instead of attacking it. And it's something like that that might actually end up costing kill here, because that Brute went down, the link node stayed up, and it might turn into a strike node. I think it's already, no, it's turning into a strike node right now. And the Argents here are actually adding to the pressure from the Morph Cores, and it looks like this might be a pretty aggressive push. The Hexen still managed to stay alive, and that's one saving grace here for Kel, managing to still push out those skulls every once in a while, managed to get that extra infest. We now have a Brute also coming out, but the Brute is good for tanking, but it's not going to get a lot of DPS on these Argents if you kite it. We see the Brute get taken out, the Fiend's almost immediately gone, and that's going to be GG from Kel in game number 3. Congratulations to High. Moving into the next round.